Hello, this is Dealer and
Wheeler.
And we are the Crazy Picker Life team. This, as promised, is our new weekly vlog, episode 1.
Episode 1 of 10,000.
Well, we always set our goals high. 10,000 weekly episodes. Where would that put us? 10,000 divided by 52? That doesn't sound very good.
No, it doesn't.
Sounds like 200 years.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll be 215 years old. How old will you be?
I'll be a nice strapping youth at 217 or whatever.
So you'll be 2 years older than I will.
Yeah.
In 200 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is episode 1. Let me check my notes. Here is what is coming tonight. What have we been up to?
You really want to disclose that?
Coolers. Like, you take to the beach or a picnic. We're going to talk about those a little bit. I buy and sell coolers. Better buying makes listing easier.
Yeah.
And we always struggle with better buying. Why do we struggle with better buying?
Because there's always better stuff at the next place, so you gotta keep going. I don't know. Why exactly?
We struggle with better buying because we buy everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Backstock. We're going to talk about Backstock and what to do about it if you have some things that are piling up. And I've got a small story on SD. And then Wheeler here is going to show off some cameras that we picked up over the last few months. They're currently off camera, and wow, quite a
slight assortment there. And actually, I have a on-camera thing too.
A diverse selection. Okay, without any further ado, what have we been up to? Now, I can't remember for sure, but the last set of videos that we did was really more or less me most of the time, ranting into my computer, and then occasionally I'd go see Wheeler stuffed in his new office and have some Wheeler time. And so that went pretty well. I did it every day, I think, for, I don't know, 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 days, and then I just blew up and couldn't continue any longer. And then we've taken
like the blow up effect.
We've taken probably a year off, and some people have commented that you look a little older.
Wow. Yeah, I'd hope so.
And
that's still 12.
It's only been less than 24 hours since we put out our other video and are recording this video, and it's good to see some familiar names.
Some activity.
Some
stir in the pot.
Well, some familiar names have welcomed us back, and we appreciate that. We didn't know if we were dead in the water. We still have a lot of subscribers, I guess. And occasionally we've had time to go on YouTube and watch some of your guys' videos and other picker videos and things like that. But we do appreciate that. So what have we been, doing for the last year? Some people wondered if we fell off the face of the earth.
We went bankrupt, just kind of like face palmed right into the ground. That's not quite the right word.
Well, initially we got some hate mail, where did you go? Did you go bankrupt? Did you quit? Did you get a job, dealer?
Yeah.
Did you move out of state? Did you move to the moon?
Yeah.
Did you sell everything and retire?
Retire, yeah.
So really we haven't done anything different. We've been going at it strong. Coming off of last spring, our summer was extremely busy. We probably picked in 10 or 12 states.
Yeah.
Quite a few trips to the Wisconsin area. We did a neat trip where we got on a car ferry in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and went across the Lake Michigan.
Yeah. I remember we ended up there, but yeah.
Went across Lake Michigan into the state of Michigan and filled up our van even more over there. And then dealer here tried to take Super Van and push
Escalade.
push a Cadillac Escalade into Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Kind of a long story, short story there, but boy, I tell you what, all the time changes and all the picking and all the hotels and getting up early to get on that ferry, I think I wasn't quite there that morning.
Travel lag, boat lag, whatever you want to call it. It's not really jet lag because you're not on a plane, but similar.
Tried to do the old gas brake thing at the same time, and I guess the gas won out, and very, very fortunate that the super van has a super bumper.
Yeah. And Escalade had a trailer hitch.
And a trailer hitch and good brakes, I guess.
Yeah.
But we succeeded in drawing a crowd, didn't we?
Yeah. That was pretty exciting.
Oh
Like,
boy!
Taylor, hello.
Hello! Stop flooring it. Okay, well that's just one adventure.
Yeah.
So we did that. We discovered some really cool items over there.
Yeah. That was some pretty unique stuff. Out in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere over in Michigan.
You'll have to remember to talk about your Leica that we sold
Yeah.
that piece, Leica piece, when we're talking.
Yeah,
about
no, I definitely
cameras.
talk about that. I wasn't going to, but that's a good idea. I should just talk about it.
Well, we
if I
found
don't have it.
just briefly. We found. I better put a clock on this thing. We found that on that trip. We've been all our neighboring states out here. Couple day trips here, there, and everywhere.
Yep.
Oh boy, we've recently purchased some more space. I think we're somewhere around 22 or 2,300 square feet.
Yeah, somewhere around there because I think we're at 12 in here, so whatever's in there. I don't remember exactly.
No, it was over 13 here,
Okay,
but
more
it's
than
kind of chopped up.
Yeah.
Not all of it is usable.
Yep.
Great to expand. We really had some ideas what we could do with this office. And
Deferring slightly, but yeah.
well, what are you
Skate
referring?
park. No, I don't know.
What are you referring to? Yeah, there's no age gap here.
No, not at all.
There's no reality factor versus young guy factor. So we still have a lot of ideas on what we want to do here. There's one guy here that pays the bills, so his
Yeah.
ideas tend to.
Well, he's the man with the plan. I'm kind of like the sporadic thinker.
Yeah.
So yeah, deferring slightly, but it works.
So the problem we had before we had this new space is we kept buying stuff and piling it up, and so a lot of our free space got eaten up by inventory.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that doesn't happen with our new plans. So we're trying to create a work and play environment here that is good to get work done,
Yep.
but also we can have some fun and hang out and invite guests, mainly our family, kids, and my beautiful wife, to come over from time to time, and some local people from time to time, excuse me. And so we've been doing that.
Yep.
Wheeler is just on the home stretch of what grade?
11th.
11th grade. And so we're over halfway done with that. And we'll be entering the summer here where we can do more things because you don't have school.
Yep.
Let's see, what else? Well, it's way off subject. We used to have the business out of my house. Some of you remember the videos that we did, the $1 to 50K challenge. We had Wheeler and myself and X Factor
Yeah.
down in our
We
basement.
don't have him back on the wall anymore. You can't make a cameo.
We haven't talked to X Factor.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think he might have called the other day because a call came in from North Dakota. So if you're watching X Factor, hey, get in contact with us. We
Back on the show.
get back on the show. And so anyway, we had a problem downstairs there with the plumbing backing up, and when we moved out of there, we actually had a few inches of water down there, and so
Yeah. Well, I moved out conveniently about a month before the flood, so that was good.
yeah, we had a flood, and then we had some other plumbing problems. Just 2 weeks ago, the outgoing plumbing in the house backed up for good.
Yep.
Oh, what an adventure.
It's nice and fun. Just go down there, break up concrete, dig up pipes for days on end. It was a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah, well, 90-year-old
Calming.
90-year-old house, and we were thinking about moving to a bigger place, and then this happened, and you just can't sell a house like that. So long story short, Wheeler and I got some experience. Things are different around here in a small town. You kind of work with your plumber if you want, and,
Yeah.
and I guess we did, but we had to break up the whole basement, and
We did the whole plumbing thing.
Oh my goodness.
Man, the problem with the pipes though is that the entire bottom was rusted out. You reach under there and there's no bottom. It's a half pipe pretty much. It's
Yeah.
upside down, so yeah, no, it's no good at all.
Well, and tree roots growing
Yeah.
in them, and
Yeah.
just a mess. 90-year-old plumbing. So
yeah.
they finished up the reconcreting this morning, and so there's a lot of cleanup down there. But boy, we're glad we got the office out of there just in time.
Yeah.
It's about 3 years ago
Yeah, that's a lot longer than you'd think.
that we moved out. We've been here now almost a year and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say a year, so yeah.
No, it's almost a year and a half.
Crazy.
And didn't sign a new lease, but we got this new space. We might buy this building. We haven't committed to that yet. We've got a good relationship with our landlord. There's about 5,000 square feet here total.
Yeah, no, it would triple our space, double our space.
But I mean, one step at a time. We're trying to decide if we're going to buy a bus and go on the road. We looked at that other building.
Yeah.
We almost bought.
Yeah, we pretty much committed to it and then had to back out of it. So
Well,
it got pretty.
it was a crazy, weird negotiation, but we
Yeah.
almost bought a huge
Awesome building.
old building for only $20,000,
Yeah.
and it needed more or less complete renovation.
Well, the downstairs level is pretty good, but yeah.
There were some
There's
things.
definitely some work there. If you think our plumbing's bad in our house.
Well, yeah. Well, that building was like 1870s.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's probably people buried in there.
Yeah. Who
So
knows?
you can't really.
Skeletons in the closet. There's a
Yeah.
doctor's office upstairs.
Yeah, weird doors that are nailed shut.
From the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird
Yeah.
stuff going on there. So we ended up not doing that deal.
Yeah.
We've looked at some other properties. We're really happy renting. It's
Yeah.
so much
I like the
easier.
modern office spaces and all that kind of stuff comparatively to like rustic.
Well,
Living in the woods, listening out in the woods.
yeah. So we've had a really interesting year. We could go on and
That's
on.
Weird humor tonight.
Well,
Too
yeah,
laughy.
too much coffee.
Yeah, must be.
To kind of wrap that up, we will give an office tour. We're still moving some stuff around, and I don't really care about that, but we're not going to hit you with that on show one. Maybe in a week or two, we'll just have another office tour to just give you an idea of our space, and some of you may see some changes from the last time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes we want to do, and things are slow, but some of it has moved along. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else on that? What we've been up to? I mean, lots of listing.
Yeah, just lots of listing. I don't know.
Our strategy has actually changed. We've continued to move towards higher priced items,
Mhm.
and I think we found out a good strategy on that. We might share some from that. Here's the deal. You can only list so much.
Yeah. Well, especially as a two-man team or one-man camera team, one-man whatever. So yeah.
So eventually, you either need to be satisfied with how much you have, or start listing bigger things.
Yep. Or hire people, which that's a whole nother,
Well,
whole nother thing.
yeah, I mean, there's some people that do that successfully.
Yep.
I have reasons that I'd like to, and I have quite a few reasons I don't want to. So that's that.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on to something else. Let's talk about coolers.
Okay.
Now,
What about coolers?
well, I bought a cooler today, and I'll bring it over here and show it. Sports Master Colombian Terra Hauta Indiana.
India. India.
So this is a metal cooler. We find pretty good ones out here. The bottom shows some wear. The inside is just sheet metal or
Aluminum or
galvanized
something, I don't know.
galvanized metal.
Yeah.
There's something in there. I don't know. It's like this, and it's clean. You know, it's not rusted in there. I don't know what that is.
Good shirt.
Free shirt. Look at that. Hey.
Wow, there you go. Duck Dynasty.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Duck Dynasty apparel free with every purchase.
Now that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's a medium Duck Dynasty that was in there.
Yeah. For extra.
That's brand new, dude.
Yeah.
Wash that up.
Yeah.
Not gonna sell it. You probably wear that.
I'm not gonna wear it. Medium?
It's a
Maybe.
long sleeve shirt.
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
anyway, paid
But
18,
anyway.
paid $18 for this. You know, it's a little beat up, but it's not. There's no rust. There's some scratches. I have bought and sold probably 10 coolers a year, and I keep my eyes out. A cooler like that has a great vintage look.
Yeah.
Pros, you can find them if you live in a relatively dry climate
Yeah.
where they haven't rusted out. They're big, but if you have a selection of boxes to ship them in, I just throw it in a box and put minimal packing material. It can't break in shipping.
Yeah. Well, that's always a plus.
Yeah.
Get a little dent on it, but one like that for sure, it's very scratched and dented a little bit, so it won't affect
Well, there's a couple different people that will buy them. There's people that collect them. There's people that will just use them like they are, and then there's people that will restore them.
you. Yeah.
And then, you know, people that go to car shows, people that like to put some beer in there and go to the park, whatever, will use them. They bring back some memories. Restored, they look really cool.
Yeah.
That one, the way it is, I'm going to sit and wait at $49.99 plus shipping. And so it's a doubler plus. Easy list. You know, I just take a picture of every side of it, inside of it, quick listing, and then easy packing.
Yeah.
That's not a big money thing, but one of my places I go locally, I got to buy something every time I go.
Yep.
And of course, I got that shirt, so I'll.
Well, yeah, no, that's a plus. That's probably as much as the cooler. If you want to buy it.
Well, I got lots of kids, so somebody will wear that.
Yeah.
It won't fit me, but I didn't know what that was in there.
No, I didn't know there was something in there.
Okay, so now that's just like a retro regular cooler. There's leverage there, but there's not what I call super leverage. And something else I was going to say about those coolers.
Not sure.
Yeah, got to speed it up. I don't want to put everybody to sleep. You can find them in all kinds of states of repair. I mean, if it's an expensive one that's in demand, I'll give you an example. I had a beer cooler, and I can't think of the darn brand, but it was all aluminum, real lightweight, probably 1960s to 70s, somewhere in there. It was a Louisiana brand of beer, Jack's. Jaxx, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we did pick up a Jack's JXS.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Anyway, it was
Yeah,
a beer
like
cooler. It's an oddball beer cooler. Somebody had sat on it, and so the top was all mushed in. And it was like $40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, $40. Yeah, I'll take it. I don't know. I sold it for 120-ish plus
Yeah.
shipping. And it went to New York. Somebody that had a body shop out there that on the side they repaired coolers. And they'll take around, they'll repair it and probably sell it for $250, $300.
Yeah.
It was in good shape, for more or less, except the top. And old beer coolers like that. I'll show you another one. This is where you get a little more leverage. This one is a little more beat up.
Bossed on the front there too.
It's embossed. It's a Schlitz. You get like a metal drain plug, nice handle. I don't remember what I paid for this. It says $75. Usually I get a better. Again, it's just, this one's got a little bit of an embossed advertising on there. It's pretty clean in there. This one, probably bought for $60.
Yeah.
50,
that's
60
about what I
bucks.
remember.
And I thought I'd keep this one because I bought another one that was the beer that made Milwaukee famous. I bought another one that was just about mint.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boy, if I'm going to use one, I don't think I can use one that nice. So I bought that one for $150. Really stepped up, and I think I sold it for $2.25 plus shipping.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of money, but pretty good profit.
Yeah, and really I hung on to that for a while, and then I just decided that I would sell it when I found this one, because this one's a keeper and one that I can use and not worry about beating up.
Yep.
I bought this for 60. This would sell probably pretty easily the way it is for 120
Yeah.
plus shipping. And I know what I was going to say. The key to the coolers is timing also. If you can buy them in the winter or the off season, you'll get them cheap.
Yeah.
Plus, you'll find them cheap at rummage sales and things like that from time to time. And then there'll always be people selling them off cheap. You just wait till they sell and price yours a little higher, and you just wait till the right season comes along. We're in February.
Yeah.
Late March, April, this one will sell for, 50 plus shipping on sale, maybe $44.99 plus shipping, whatever it is. We tend to run sales. The Schlitz cooler sold for $225. Oh, I know what I was going to say on that one. Coolers, especially for some reason, aren't always for sale.
Yeah. Well, it's the same in a lot of markets too, but it's interesting.
The Schlitz cooler, I had been looking. I bought probably, I don't know, 30, 40 coolers over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like I said, 10 a year or so. I've been looking for a Schlitz cooler. Schlitz and Blatz are Milwaukee beers. I grew up in Milwaukee. I remember the old breweries. I've been looking and looking and looking for a Schlitz cooler. I found two in 1 year. The first one I found, the really nice one, wasn't for sale at a rummage sale, but it was way up on a shelf. And I asked the guy about it. He didn't want to let it go, but that's the one I paid for $150. So I had to ask him if it was for sale.
And man, there's quite a bargaining phase through that too.
Well, there was, and I bought some other things from them that I made a lot better money on.
Yeah.
But that's not the first time I've asked about a cooler. Usually they'll say no, it's not for sale, because they use it. And the old 50s, 60s, and 70s coolers with beer emblems on them, they're not that easy to find.
No.
You can find them at antique stores.
Yeah, because what were those? Like a promotional item or extra? Or because where exactly were you bought one of those back in the 60s and 70s?
Yeah, I don't know. I really
curious.
don't. I'm
That
curious.
could be one reason why
as
they're
well. If
scarcer.
you drank enough beer, you might get one, or because
Turning 500 cans for a beer cooler, who knows?
yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't have a store that just sold beer coolers.
Beer coolers are
So that's a good point. So anyway, coolers, you got to do a little research ahead of time. You can look coolers up, high to low. Just put beer coolers. You'll find the other keywords, and you can look those up. We do this a lot.
Yeah.
We go high to low on a general category like that when we're driving, and we'll find the brands that go for the most. And some of them are surprising.
Yep.
And other ones, like the common ones, you'll find Budweiser and Miller and all those. There are beer coolers that aren't worth much.
Yeah. Well, especially the newer ones, like the 90s ones and stuff, they mass produce the heck out of them.
Well,
like you said, they're not as high quality for sure.
what really surprised me is I've run into a couple over the years that I thought were super cool.
Yeah.
And they were priced at maybe $100 or $110 at an antique store, and I'm looking at them and I'm going, wow, a Ham's beer cooler, only $110.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I'm falling in love with it, and then I'll go away and I'll take a picture of it and I'll look it up a little bit away from there, and sure enough, there's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah.
And so they must have had a big promotion. It was popular. And they only go for $110.
Yeah.
And so I surprise myself, and then it's the oddballs like Jack's, and Schlitz is reasonably oddball. They just didn't, for some reason, have many of them.
Yeah.
Haven't found a Blatz one.
No, we haven't. Because, yeah, we saw one similar, but I don't think we found a Blatz one exactly.
Well, beer crates are a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So I've had Blatz,
Yeah.
beer crate, stores we've had,
Mm-hmm.
and some other ones. And so they're, if you're in a climate that they're all rusted out, you're not going to see them in the wild. Like if all your beer cans out there are all rusted out. Out here in the near west, things last a little longer.
They do.
And so I find a lot of automotive labeled coolers like this. I find a lot of retro coolers. I find a lot of farming Coolers, some people use them for tackle boxes and things like that. Many of those can be bought for $5 to $10, and if they look cool enough, they'll sell for $39.99, $59.99, $89.99.
Yeah.
Things like that. I like to make at least $50 unless it's something local that I just pick up.
Yep.
Like this one. Okay, anything else on coolers?
Just a quick note on one thing you were saying there before. You were talking about how you took a picture of the hams thing or whatever to go look it up. Just thought I'd make a point on that. It's actually like a really good idea to bring your phone along with you, and if you see something you're not quite sure about, you can take a picture and then look it up later. So that was an interesting point to mention.
Especially, well, we do it when we remember to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you go to a place and you're going to go there again in a week or something, and if you just don't have the cash with you, or if you're not ready to pull the trigger, or if you're limited time, you can just click, take pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got pictures of actually something on my phone that I need to look up right now. I did that with some trains.
Yeah, it's funny. I was
today.
I was just like scanning my phone and pictures, and over the last 3 years, I've taken 80 something pictures of random stuff that I find. So I do that. But not very often. We don't remember.
We go so many places and buy so much stuff and have so many buying opportunities that most of those don't pan out.
Yeah.
But even if you take that picture to do something with it later, look it up and see what it's worth, and then you can second guess yourself.
Yeah.
So, if it was, let's see, if it was $100 item and you're like, well, I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger, you take a picture, you go look it up later, and sure enough, it sells for $250.
Yeah.
Now your subconscious will keep that in there the next time you run into that kind of item.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
You'll be more tuned into it. So
Yep.
yeah, that's good that you bring that up.
Yep. So that was interesting.
Okay, let's move right along.
Yep.
I wrote down better buying. By the way, if you have questions on coolers, beer coolers, any kind of coolers, I've bought and sold soft coolers. Like they'll have like a team on them, and it's a soft collapsible one. Uline is where we get a lot of our boxes and materials. I've actually used my freebie to buy Broncos, Packers, other coolers from them. I get a freebie and then I'll sell it on Amazon for 50, 60, 70 bucks.
Yeah.
So there are all types of coolers that'll work, even newer ones as long as they're branded. So if you have questions or comments on that, do hit us up with that.
Yep.
Better buying makes listing easier. Okay, so let me set this up a little bit. We're in the field buying. Wheeler and I are in the field buying. Wheeler, you might be looking at cameras, you might be looking at skateboards, you might be looking at something you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
I might be looking at
everything.
I might be looking at who knows what. You fall in love with it, you commit to it, you start making offers on it, you buy it, you get it home, and you look at it again and it's not what you think it is. Okay?
Yeah.
And then what can happen is you get ready to list it and then it gets shuffled to the back, or you just take it to the back right away, or you look it up and it doesn't seem like it's worth listing.
So you list it unrealistically high.
Or well, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Or maybe it's dirtier than you thought it was, so you don't feel like cleaning it, or it takes a lot of effort to clean it. Maybe it's got stickers and tape all over it. Anyway, everybody goes through this that buys a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff in the field.
The junk goggles go on.
The junk goggles go on, absolutely. And it can happen for a number of reasons. Sometimes we pick 12 hours in a row.
Oh yeah, no more than that sometimes.
And maybe you don't find enough stuff early, so the junk goggles go on and you start heaping it in to make up for it. You start doubling down. Or for me, every time I go to the darn flea market, I got to get myself warmed up. So my first couple purchases might just be crap. I'm like, woo! And I try to keep them low. Stuff, yeah, and you get that stuff home and you look it up and you're like, wow, I'm going to make 75 cents. Wow. Yeah. And so.
Score.
Yeah, score.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about what we do or what we're going to do, because this is a lesson for us too. I'll just give you another thing. And we're going to talk a little bit about Backstock, but I put a big note up on my board. Every day I have to throw something away.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, because for about the last year I haven't done that, and I've got an accumulation of some of those things that I should never have picked up.
Yeah.
Or I might buy a box full of things and I take the cream of the crop out of there, and the crap is left, and a lot of times that'll just get put somewhere or listed, and you know it's not going to sell. You just for whatever reason you want to get 10 listings done, you're like, okay, I'll list that, and it lists, and we have a strategy where we reduce the cost.
Yeah, or at least you do, because you're the...
I do that.
Yeah.
Every one set of items, non-camera items, we reduce the cost by 5% every 30 days.
Yeah.
Without fail. Cameras, depending on the season and how fast things are moving, it can be every 10 days we reduce the price 5%.
Yeah.
Right now is our busy camera time, so I don't reduce things as much, and I've modified that strategy. But anyway, so your junk pile, which you listed for $19.99,
Yeah, it's a big pile of it.
is now down to like $13.74, and you're starting to feel like this is not worth selling because of my packing materials and my time. And so anyway, I have this thing up where I've started to disconnect and pull things off and throw them away. So
Yep.
as I've been doing
I
that,
have to do that sometimes too, but most of the time that stuff doesn't even get to the listing phase. Like, it just kind of sits around my office and churns for a while. And
Yeah.
I have to do the office triage. I
well,
just take everything and throw out half of it, pretty much.
you actually have more junk come through your
Yeah.
office than I do.
Because we pick up big lots of stuff sometimes.
Right.
So that's,
Right.
yeah.
And some of it you just can't tell. I mean, you
Goes
can
along with stuff, whatever.
and in the camera business, and we're kind of rambling here, but in the camera business, we can buy 20 items for reasonable money per item. We pay reasonable money per item, but one of them turns out to be a $150, $200 item, and it pays for everything else.
Oh, exactly.
And then the rest of it might be more or less bread and butter or junk, and we can lot it up or throw it away or
Yeah.
whatever. So I mean,
It's all profit.
there's a lot of ways that you can treat that. So what were we saying about that? Okay, so on the front end, one of the things that we've started to do is when we're full of backstock and when we're still in a phase like we are right now, catching up from last year,
Yep.
because we buy all summer, fall,
Yeah, without fail.
and just load up. I mean,
Yep.
we just do it.
Buy the van full.
And by December, January, February, we're digging out, and we're still digging out today. We're getting down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can count how many totes of camera stuff we have left. And what happens with me, I'll get all my stuff listed, then I'll start going and really digging for stuff and lotting stuff up that's been sitting around that I don't want to list. Then I start coming around and I start doing like old camera lots of stuff that have been sitting around because you've discarded it.
Yeah.
And then I even threaten to get in and start listing some camera stuff. And by about
Yeah.
then we just can't stand it and we go out and buy more stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But what we keep threatening to do, and we did this, we went out 2 times this year already.
Yeah.
We only bought sure things.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we just walked away
There's
from
no urgency to buy stuff.
no
so
urgency.
With the urgency removed, you make better buys.
Well, that's one way you can make better buys, is not to have that urgency. So there are some channels out there that I watch. I won't name any names, and I like these people, but it seems to me that their crap pile is so meaningless that they just won't ever list it, because they mention it, but from what I can tell, their crap pile just needs to be thrown out.
Yeah.
And then they just don't have anything to list. And so when they go out, if they have a bad day going out and only pick up 2 or 3 items and they have to list off that for 2 or 3 days, that's depressing.
Yeah.
So when they go out, they either are going to get depressed when they don't find stuff, or they're going to buy the wrong stuff. You can't put yourself in that position.
No.
So I don't feel bad about having excess stuff and going out because the urgency is low.
Yeah.
Now I say that, and then I'm going to stumble on this, thing.
5,000 cameras for $1,000.
Well, we used to do that.
Yeah. Now we've never found something that crazy.
Well, I can take you to our new room.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a short story about this. We hardly ever will lose money, but time is money. We came back from the Nebraska junk jaunt, and we ran into this guy, and we went in and bought some stuff from him. And I didn't buy the greatest stuff from him either. And we're still going to make good money.
Yep.
But we have 6 or 7 boxes of the dustiest.
Oh, it's really good stuff, though. That's the thing.
It's so dusty.
It is.
And so we bought an air compressor and are going to try to blow this stuff off, which has its own problems with camera stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, by the time we dust it all off, we could have listed 2 items per one.
Well, yeah.
And so
whenever you find like a big lot deal for a certain price and it's really like an unbelievable deal, sometimes there's a reason.
well,
There's a reason that they sell it that cheap.
let me just say this. If I think we were fatigued when we showed up there.
No, I think we've made good buys there. Because I listed about 30 items out there and ready.
Oh, there's some really cool
There's
stuff.
some really good stuff out there.
There
That's the
is,
thing.
but we've had better scores that were less. Yeah. If I ran into that deal today, I mean, we spent almost $2,000 there.
Yeah.
If I ran into that deal today, I think I'd walk.
How about that?
I'd put it off.
Okay. Well, yeah, if I knew now what I know about the dustiness and how knowing that's going to be clean, I guess. But I think the deal was still a good one.
Well, dust is one thing, but this is serious.
Yeah, it's been dusted up there 30 years. It's been.
Yeah, it's not the kind of dust that you go whew, and it's clean.
Yeah.
It's you got to either blow it out or wipe it off, and then all the different nooks and crannies. It's just you can, and some of the more expensive stuff. If you want it to come from our shop, we have to Q-tip it.
Yeah, we've had worse buys though. Like one thing I was going to mention that applies to this whole thing is like when you're outside and buying stuff, a lot of times you can't smell must and mold and stuff. So stuff out in the field, we've picked up some pretty moldy stuff that you don't even know is moldy until you get back to the enclosed area.
in our business, in certain niches, camera niches for sure, certain other niches it would make more sense. Some of the stuff is really musty, and it can be, again, the fatigue, and if you're outside, and if you gotta make
outside
a buy.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and some of that stuff you can get rid of the must. I mean, we work with ozone, and we put stuff outside, and some stuff will just air out. But some of that, for example, like a box camera that has more of a cardboard.
It just absorbs
it. It absorbs it, and it's game over. You just can't. You can, and poor Wheeler here has inhaled 100 different types of mold. And I think that's part of what's wrong with them. But did I say that? Oh, I didn't mean it. Maybe I had some too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting a little off track.
Yeah.
So the key, though, everybody thinks, well, you gotta buy stuff to make money, and some people, I think, don't pull the trigger enough on buying stuff. Other people, I think we're probably on the other end of that. I mean, there's times where I just pull the trigger.
Machine gun.
Oh my goodness!
Double Uzis.
If I had a semi trailer, I'd probably come home with the whole thing. And other times, we just don't find enough.
Bazooka.
Yeah, I tend to make up for not finding stuff by just buying more.
Yeah.
Buying junk.
Just to simplify, we never have a problem buying.
No, but we have a new strategy actually that we talked big about it when we first came up with the idea on how, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and then I think we've talked a little more, Wheeler, but we're gonna modify it and try it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can buy smarter And then when you get back to your office, your basement, your room converted where you do your listing, wherever you do your listing,
Yep.
and you get down to listing, you're not going to have some of those moments where you're like, oh, what did I actually buy here? I'm going to lose money if I list this. Or how am I going to box this up? Or how am I going to clean it? Or what's this big smudge that I missed? So, I mean, seriously.
A big scratch across the lens. I macheted it.
Well, you need to buy enough stuff to hit the level of business that you want to be in. I mean, for us, we got to buy a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we sold over 6,000 items last year.
Yeah.
Over 6,000 items.
Yeah.
You can't buy 10 items a week and do that.
No, you can't.
That's 520 items. So, I mean, we have to buy a lot. But out of those 6,000 items, 1,000 of them are still sitting on my shelf that are junk. More or less. I mean,
more or
they're
less.
not junk, but
Yeah. Somebody would want them, but the right person is not readily available.
yeah, I mean, I could have made, okay, we like to make 3 times our money.
Yep.
And that's usually free shipping on camera gear. And on my stuff, it can be 3 times, maybe a little less. The 1,000 items I'm talking about are going to be doublers or less.
Yeah.
And
Or
so-
just small stuff that we've already paid off the lot, but it's just this small stuff that goes for like 7, 8, whatever bucks. So it's all profit, but it's just slow listing fees, whatever. So.
And don't get
Anyway.
us wrong. I mean, I do this full time. Wheeler is compensated well. We've got a lot of expenses and overhead. We have a lot of fun when we go traveling. We stay in nice hotels. We put a lot of miles on. We're definitely growing the business. I mean, we have pretty good sales.
Yeah.
But we're working hard to not have to throw as much stuff away. We're working hard to buy the right items. We're looking hard to expand our margin, list less, buy smarter. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. I'm sure you'll have questions on this. So ask us some questions, give us some comments. We're doing this all off the cuff, but
Well, if you couldn't tell already with the...
but we live this.
Yeah.
We live this whole thing.
Well, the crazy bigger life. This is our life right here. This is
Well, this is our business life.
business, yeah. Okay.
But we got a lot of other things going on too. A lot of other projects.
Yep.
So we wanted to touch on that subject. There's a lot more we could go into.
Yeah.
There's probably even
I was
specifics.
just thinking tonight, like, what can I talk about? And I was like, oh man, there's so much stuff I could talk about.
Well,
I could make a 50-hour video, but I guess I'll also spread over a few episodes, and that should do it. So.
yeah, and I think there's a lot of value you can add to what we're doing, and this is a strange format. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It's
we're
kind of
talk-
like a one-sided but open discussion or something. It's like a one-sided thing, and hopefully an open discussion on the other side.
right.
So
So
just trying to start discussions.
Hit us with some questions and comments, and
Yeah.
we'll read them. We probably won't reply to them on the site. Occasionally we do. I just prefer to read them and talk about them on the show. Okay, Backstock. Now, last year this time, we wanted to get out of the gate and start buying in January.
Oh yeah.
I remember that. I mean, we started to go out every Saturday in January, and after a while, we had to stop because we bought so much stuff. We were going to try to go out every week and just buy the right stuff and keep up. We ended up getting a bunch of stuff, and then this last year, through the summer and fall, as usual, we just
Stockpiled.
stockpiled. I mean, everybody knows what a mail tote is, USPS mail tote, size tote. We probably went, and we have small items and we have some big items. We probably went a good 60 totes behind.
Probably more than that. Yeah, at least.
I mean, I've got big items too.
Yeah.
I mean, I pick up signs and road signs and
Beer signs.
beer signs.
All kinds of crazy
Some
stuff.
other big stuff that I get lately. Time clocks.
Yeah.
I had some other big. I moved a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
A lot of the big stuff's gone.
Well, yeah, this really
There's
cool
some-
like Bugler Boy sign too, like that beer sign or whatever that one was, Chicago or something. Whatever, but yeah, no, all kinds of
Fox.
Fox, whatever. They said they found it under a railroad car or something crazy like that.
Yeah, we might have to tell that story, but
Yeah,
that
it was. Yeah, no, we found all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, I mean, here's the problem with a year's worth of stories is a lot of the good stuff sells quick.
Yeah.
And we find some really
Neat, cool,
good stuff. But
good
when
stuff,
you sell 6,000 items, even if 2% is really cool stuff, I mean that's 120 items,
Yeah.
right? Is that right?
Well, you can sort of tell how much we're moving through. If you see the back of my office there, I'm like sort of at my broken camera stockpile for when I want to put them up on shelves and stuff. Man, I have 13 totes solid of camera stuff back there. So.
Camera museum.
Pretty much, yeah, except broken cameras.
Broken camera museum.
Cameras, yeah.
Well, here's there are camera collections that the cameras work, but for the most part,
Well, the budget way to do it, the affordable way to do it is just, yeah.
most camera museums are broken cameras.
Yeah.
And the part of the problem with a 50s and 60s and 70s cameras, if it sits for 10 years, it gets goobered up. It's
Yeah,
broken.
even if it isn't broken,
use
there's
it
some
or
issues.
use it or lose it.
Yep.
So we didn't know that.
No.
We know that now because we ran into the big museum and we were like, oh, we got to buy this, and he's like, oh, they're all broken.
No, all the newer, all the 70s, 80s stuff was, all the built like tank ones were still working.
So our calculation was certainly off. We thought we could make out. So
No, it
anyway,
wasn't good enough. But yeah, anyway.
so last year we dug out early.
Mm-hmm.
By January we were just about dug out. I had listed all this consignment stuff I had to list for a guy. I mean, we were ready to go. This year we're still probably all told 15 or 20 totes behind.
Yeah.
And we're wiping out probably on average close to a tote a day.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Even small stuff, I'm really getting through it.
Yeah, and
So,
so
small item listing today, I got like 54 items listed. So.
I'm hoping 3 or 4 weeks from now we're going to be looking at pretty much caught up. Now we've got things like this basement excavation. I mean, we're talking jackhammers, sledgehammers. I got blisters.
Shoveling. We had like 9 totes, 200 pounds each of dirt at least. It's pretty fun, but not.
And
I won't want to do it over and over.
Stinky dirt, some of it.
Yeah.
Because it was
Well,
leaking.
he was
up.
pouring down chemicals and all that stuff, and man, that problem's been developing for 20 years. That's the whole problem with it.
90 years.
Well, 90, but 20 years it's probably been broken down here.
Anyway, so that slowed us down a little bit. So Backstock, we do it every year.
Hmm?
Do you think we'll change?
Well, no.
Now, if you have less
If you're
money,
growing, you're shrinking, so.
if you have less money to buy things, it's a problem. I have money to buy things because of planning, and then I can always borrow money all the way from 0 interest to whatever it takes to get it done if I run into the big deal.
No score.
And you will run into those.
Yeah.
And
Gotta be ready.
You have to make the calculation if you're going to go for it or not. I've made a couple in the last 5 years that made our business really hum.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've made mistakes.
There were a couple lots in general that started the camera business.
But
we
again,
had 2 lots early on.
You know, in business, you do have to take some risks. You'll have to find your risk tolerance.
Yep.
I've made mistakes in the last 30 years that I regret financially, and so I think because of the mistakes I made at some point, I'm able to make better decisions
Well, absolutely.
now. So, you know, some people would say, you did what? And then, you know, 6 months later, they talk to me again, and they're like, wow, that worked out for you. How did you know?
Of course, the VHS is still in. Remember I was talking about that?
Which?
I don't know, whatever VHSs you picked up.
Which ones are you talking about?
I don't know, the ones you picked up for the challenge a while back or something. I don't know, VHSs never work out. Saying.
Hey, I've made money on VHSs.
Yeah.
Not many.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones specifically.
I don't know which one I'm talking about, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, like just another shoot off on this topic is that I've gained over the last 5 years the ability to basically look at a table of cameras and within 3 minutes give the guy a number. That's, you have to kind of work with it and be able to accumulate that skill. But what is the word I'm looking for? Accumulate. I don't think that's it.
Well, it's
Come up with that skill to be able to look at something and give a.
it's a cumulative wisdom that you develop after you spend time in a certain niche for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely not like foolproof, but.
No, you're given the hip shot, but
Yeah.
it's such a qualified hip shot. I know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
I witness it with you. I can look at 10 camera lenses, and I just would buy them all
Yeah.
and hope to get a good deal, and then I'd probably make some money, but 3 or 4 of them would be junk. 2 of them would be break even. Maybe 1 or 2 of them I could hope would be good, and then once in a while I find a good one. He picks the best ones.
Well, yeah. You just have to know what to look for.
Give or take.
Yeah.
And then your hunches are mostly right.
Yep.
Now,
Getting better.
2 weeks ago, we went to the flea market, and we went to this booth that had all these toys from the 60s and 70s. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I picked 2 cars out of it. I can do the same thing in my arena.
Yeah.
I picked 2 plastic cars out of there, out of maybe 100 choices or more that I could have made for $6.
Yep.
Both space type themes, both from the 60s and
These
70s.
little plastic, rubberized, weird, dinky cars.
And I'd been
They're-
dealing with those kind of vehicles because I had a consignment deal that I paid the price on. But those 2 cars, one $6, one I sold for 25 plus shipping, wham, that sold within 24 hours. The other one has a small broken piece, but I listed it for 50 or $60. If it didn't have the broken piece, it'd be 80 or 90.
Yeah.
I'll sit on that for a while. It'll sell for more than $30.
Oh, absolutely.
So $6 to 50 or 60. I spent 5 minutes and I just picked those 2.
Yeah.
And I did it without even really thinking. I was like, this looks pretty cool.
Yep.
And I didn't know for sure, but I mean, you can develop this type of buying.
Oh, absolutely.
And you have it with cameras.
Yep.
You have it with some other niches.
Sort of, more or less. I'm starting to work on
You
it.
have some
Yeah.
other niches, some electronics and some things.
Yeah.
Skateboards.
Sort of.
Certain things. Well, you're still paying your dues.
Yeah,
on it.
because like I said, 5 years in the making, it took a long time to get it from like,
Well,
oh wow, cool cameras with blind wall to actually
Yeah.
be able to pick what's right. So
Right.
it takes time, mistakes.
So
we
we
always
pay-
learn from mistakes.
So we paid the price.
Yeah.
I can do it with beer-related items. I can do it with anything.
Yep.
So anyway, Backstock. We'll always have it. We're digging out. Give us some questions and some comments on your Backstock. If you have Backstock, lot it up, move it out. It's time to get ready for spring and summer. Big buying ahead.
Yep.
Are we planning to buy this year, Wheeler?
Nah. We've given up buying completely. We're just gonna.
Just wing it on
Yeah.
what we have?
Yeah. No, we're just gonna throw everything we have and then just
How many
Relax
how many
all
how
summer.
many items would you guess we have listed right now?
about 1,800 something on that Canon guy. Not sure about on your stuff, but no, quite a few.
You've got over 2,000 items listed. I've got 400 or
Yeah.
500 or something like that. And so, yeah, we could just live off that for a couple months.
Well, yeah. Couple weeks.
Here's the cool thing about Backstock. If we can keep ourselves from buying too much, we go week after week after week listing our Backstock, and the money that comes out from that, we either pay bills with, or I pay bills with,
Yeah.
or I mount up for our big cash push when we start going shopping.
Exactly.
And so it's like kind of like feast right now. So you got to kind of think of the good parts of moving some of that stuff out. There's stuff though, like video game stuff that I just didn't feel like listing, or is just
Yeah.
like we're lotting a bunch of stuff up. I've been selling a lot of lots of stuff. You don't make as much money,
Mm-hmm.
but you just move
Move
out
it
all that stuff.
Yeah. I do the same thing with like little camera filters and those other things. I could clean each one individually and sell them for $9.99 free shipping all day long, but
Ugh.
lot them up, sell them out at $2 each, and they'll sell. So that's the way to do it.
Yeah, because we can find unlimited.
Exactly.
Okay, now, today is Saturday when we're filming this. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. My wife's birthday, your mother is, her birthday is right around this time too. And so I'll probably do something with her special for her birthday as well. we decided not to do anything special really for Valentine's Day. I mean, I got her a gift and all that kind of good stuff. But she asked me to go out to eat tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. You know, you don't ask me very often. So she wanted to take me to this place we haven't been. It's actually it's weird. There's not a lot of choices around here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a truck stop.
Yeah.
But actually, it was
Greasy Joe's truck and...
Well, it's a 24-hour deal. They make all kinds of different things. They have specials. It's different than terrible.
Loaf and jug. No.
Yeah, we get a thrill out of some. Every state has their weird stop and go, loaf and jug, whatever. So it wasn't that bad, but we show up, we eat. It was cheap. You know, a lot of times we go out, we burn some money. This was cheap. We didn't have to deal with crazy crowds because every place around here has big Valentine's special dinners, and all the really nicer places are packed up, and you have to dress up on Valentine's Day. I'm not much into that, and we just decided, since we're both working so hard and kind of burnt out, and we had that basement project, we would just do this casual.
Yep.
So we eat, and I go like this, got the beard on, a little gray in there. My wife wore what I would call a younger person sweatshirt, and she looks younger than I think she is anyway. That's just me. Some people say that. Apparently I look pretty old with my beard, and when I shave it, which I will be here soon for spring for a while, look younger and scare my youngest kids.
Yeah.
So we get the bill, and for the first time ever, there's a discount on there, and my wife looks at that. What is this? What is this? SD 10%.
South Dakota discount?
South Dakota discount. Without asking me, without me saying anything, they gave me the senior discount. Now, I asked Wheeler, what do you think senior discount comes in at? He says 65.
That's what is a Goodwill. Come on. Yeah.
Now, I'm not knocking age, okay, but I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not quite 50 yet. And so sometimes I get carded if I buy beer, especially in Wisconsin, where they card everybody. They card me, and I'm like,
funny.
wow, you're doing me a favor. Yeah, like over double the age or whatever. So I got this 10% senior discount, and then I left a nice tip. But what? First time ever. So I'm thinking, how can I parlay this into a picker experience? Now that I've got a senior discount, I can use that. We can go to Goodwills, which we try to stay away from, and get the discount. Sometimes they ask, do you have any? Are you military? Are you a senior discount? But they're just rattling off a list.
Yeah.
And so when we go out to eat at these nice restaurants, I can say, well, how about the senior discount? And I'm like, man, am I really?
We could do like picker pranks. You go into the Goodwill and request for the senior discount. And it's like, hey, I'm 90. Can you give me the discount here?
So,
hey, looking good for 90.
Has anybody else run into this? I thought I was doing pretty good, I better get out and work this off or whatever. I don't know what's going on. So that was a shocker. That was today.
Yeah.
Wheeler. Got some time to show off some cameras.
Okay. Well, I guess I have a few here. So I'll start off with this thing, actually. This has been sitting around my office forever. I finally got a charger for it. So I want to show off this little Game Boy Micro thing. Have you seen one of those before?
That
was kind of neat.
Something you had, or?
Something I had. It's really old.
Some skimming the cake off the top.
Not really old. It's through your back junk drawn or something. But anyway, I just wanted to show that off a little bit. It's the red and gold super thingy. Those are kind of neat.
So have you tracked what those go for lately?
Not lately, but I remember, like, in mint condition, the red and gold's a special edition. They're going for like 120 a couple years back, so I'm assuming right around there. Pretty collectible.
Now, Wheeler has been known to yarn some values.
Yeah.
Don't give him too much crap if he's overpriced it.
Especially on stuff I don't really know, like video games. I'm not really into that. But anyway, I guess one thing I'll just preface this stuff here with a quick thing is that one thing with the just buying tons and tons of stuff is we run into some really neat stuff sometimes, like just stuff you never expect to find in the weirdest of places, just all kinds of different stuff. So I guess I'll show you this one thing first.
Well, let me say something about that. if we find something in the camera field that is cool, we will pay up for it,
Yep.
or we'll just buy it if it's priced right and we don't know much about it.
Yep.
We're at the point in the camera game where we're willing to break even on something occasionally or whatever.
Yeah, I'll go for a doubler if it's something I haven't seen before, something I've been wanting to see, something cool. I don't know, just stuff like that.
We find some things that are one of a kind. So go ahead.
But anyway, this thing here, this is like a really weird looking box camera at first sight, and we found this actually like.
Now what makes that look weird? It's long.
Well, it's long. Yeah, it's long. It has like some weird knobs and dials that don't seem right.
What's this
for a box
back? What's
camera.
this back thing?
It's a glass plate viewer thing, so that's pretty standard along with box cameras. But anyway, we found this about 6 miles out on like a dirt road out in the middle of nowhere in Nebraska. So that's the first kind of funny thing there. And secondly, there was just sitting on this table marked at like I think $100.
$100.
So I think we ended up paying right around like 60 to 70 because it's missing the leatherette. It's really rough looking on the outside here. Got it back to the office, and man, I did a good hour of research trying to figure out exactly what this thing is. No branding on it anywhere, no nothing. And then while I was playing around with it, I accidentally pushed into this little dot here, which by the way, there's supposed to be a wooden button here, but it's missing. So anyway, I have to do that with a screwdriver. See if I can do this here off camera a little bit.
Oh, you're still on camera.
Well, yeah, sort of. But anyway, when you open that, look at that. You can see that in there. That's like a serious lens on there, and I was really puzzled when I saw that. Like that completely bamboozled me or something.
A nice
Confused me.
a nice brass lens.
Nice brass lens, and that's not a standard feature on these cameras or anything, and it's inside the door, which is weird. But anyway, did some further research, and it turns out this was a detective camera back in the, I guess it came out in like 1889. Took glass plates and everything, but it's a detective camera in the sense that it was supposed to look unassuming from the outside. It was supposed to look like an amateur box camera or something. They open it up and it's basically a full professional camera with like bellows and focusing and all kinds of stuff inside. So that's just something you never see and something that I thought was really interesting because it's just...
So it's kind of a version of the dummy camera or
Yeah.
something like that. Now an item like this, we pay 60, 70. Do you recall what we started listing it? We will list something unique like this high.
Yeah.
And we will sit and wait and wait and wait.
I think
Sometimes
there's a few watches on it around 500. I don't remember what we had
sometimes
it at.
we'll wait too long,
Yep.
but an investment like that typically pays off 2, 3, 4, 5 times
Yeah.
the money. We've bought certain brass lenses. We bought one for 30 last year that we sold for
Yeah.
1,200.
Very similar to the one like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit better than that one.
So we'll wait on this and we'll make good money on it.
Yep.
But it's just so unique.
Just my point is that where do you find a detective camera?
Well,
Middle of nowhere, just out of the blue. You have to be able to jump on stuff when you
it's
see it like that.
it's like a
something-
custom order thing. So it's pretty.
Well, it is, yeah. No, they
It's pretty
probably
cool.
made.
So we do run across some.
They probably only made 1,000 of them, and they all went to the police forces and stuff, so
And
you wouldn't be able to find
they
them.
all went to police auctions
Yeah.
in 1920.
Well, exactly, yeah. Which I'm assuming, because they said it was his dad, so it's probably he was in the police force or something. He was a detective, who knows? But anyway. And then I guess we have this thing here. We picked this up at the flea market last weekend. Let's see if I can get a little zoom in there. But anyway.
$15.
Yeah, $15. It's a triple lens camera. And I don't know, do you have anything to say about this? It's a reasonable model.
Well,
This one I haven't seen before.
It was
so.
sitting outside, and I don't think it was weathered and such.
Yeah.
But it's in such
Real
nice
nice
condition, so complete, non
Dry
rotted
rotted.
strap, all the lenses,
All the accessories,
just
everything.
a cool looking camera, runs, works. I don't remember what you listed it for. 180.
Yeah, it's over 100. So I don't know.
It might sit around for a while, but again, 15 to over $100 is probably what it'll sell for. It's got such visual.
Because we see a lot of
Appeal.
these cameras out here, and we pick up very few of them, mostly because they're overpriced, and secondly because we just don't find that cool of ones. This one, though, is just kind of an oddball find, so.
Yeah.
Probably one of the least interesting things over here, but just something to show.
Well, there's such a wide range of things there, and we could pull more out. You just
Well,
wanna-
absolutely, yeah.
And
just
we
pick a
will.
couple.
Yeah.
We have to have a couple of things each week. Anyway, just another quick note is that one thing out in the field is oftentimes you'll find stuff that's just been completely used and trashed and then just kind of thrown away. And part of like barn finds, you sort of find that cameras too. If you see this thing here, first of all, it's a pretty crazy looking camera. Been looking for one of these for a while because it's an oddball. But it just has like paint on here, and it is beat.
Is that
cracks
a medium format?
Yeah, it's a medium format camera. It's made by Konica, but it's the Kony Omega Rapid. But anyway, the funny thing about this is that even though it's all beat up and everything, this thing's like a brick. Everything still works on it, which is really crazy. But anyway, I guess my point on this is that you really find some oddball stuff if you keep looking.
Well,
this out it's in pretty rough shape.
It's been used and used and used. It probably outlasted its owner.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And we didn't pay much for it.
No.
But again, it's a wait and find the right person. We'll probably make 6 or 8 times our money on it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I guess I can give some notes about this. We showed it off in actually one of our old episodes, if anybody remembers, the college cameras we picked up that one time with the big tripod and just crazy movie cameras and stuff.
Years ago, yeah.
That was years ago. We showed it on the channel though, a long time ago.
Well,
but anyway,
we bought all those for $50.
Yeah, here's another kind of thing like that.
It's a
professional grade, shoulder mounted, old movie camera. And the thing we mostly do with these, we take the lenses off of them. That's where most of the money is at on these.
People can repurpose some of those lenses, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They work on the newer cameras.
And we just sold one off this camera for about $3 something.
Yeah, and that was actually in pretty bad shape. It had been dropped, so it was kind of cracked and whatever.
Well,
so yeah. But anyway, just this oddball stuff we pick up. Like, where do you find all these old TV cameras? These originally retailed for 10 grand range, maybe a little bit more than that even, depending on which one it is. Well, absolutely. They went, because obviously modern cameras, you can go all the way up to around 100.
Well, that says 3 CCD on it. So
that was the high end.
At the time, that was the almost the highest end. Now every camera is the 3 CCD or even better, right?
Well, it's better. It's totally different technology now. Actually, this camera's a 3 CCD, which is kind of funny, but anyway. Right. And then I guess my last item here, another very oddball find. We found this antique store, kind of just tucked away in a case somewhere. Asked to look in the case, as we often do, because you see these camera cases and you never know what's in them.
You never know. It's the first one we've ever seen.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, it's a real rare one. First of all, I guess it has the ever-ready battery for special applications in there from the 1920s. But anyway, I guess I'll show you what's in here. First of all, it has the original instruction manual. It's in basically mint condition. Another thing that sort of goes along with the whole police/detective thing, it's that Graflex fingerprint camera, which is really quite interesting.
Now, Graflex is a big name in professional cameras in the teens and 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
All the professional newsrooms and things like that.
Well, that was the original camera. You see those big press cameras in the movies, those are Graflexes.
So this is what they would have went on scene to take pictures of fingerprints?
Yeah. Yep, that was basically it. And it looks pretty unassuming from the outside. It's just this odd looking box. It says fingerprint camera on the front. And then on the inside, it actually took 2 batteries here and then had bulbs that illuminated the fingerprint when you're taking the picture, and then there's a shutter and everything. But it's just a real oddball camera that you just don't find anywhere else. And this one's in near mint condition, which is really amazing. For something of that age,
so
probably
again,
circa 1919.
We paid up a little bit on this.
Yep.
And it's
just
priced,
$200 on it. So yeah.
It's priced up a little bit. It's a limited number of collectors that are looking for that. People don't just think about looking for that, and maybe we need to redo that listing, but we should do all right on it. It's just weight.
It's just a real oddball camera. We've sold Graflexes for an upwards of $1,200 before.
Well, sure.
So.
Sure. No, I don't regret buying it, but we have these are the things that make it fun, because
absolutely.
You hunt and you look at all the things that you always see, and then you find something like this, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah, because I didn't show you this. This one actually isn't worth a lot, and I had to kind of, I wasn't sure I really wanted to sell it, but anyway, it's a Bell & Howell Dial 35, really oddball looking camera. And this is an example of something I've been looking for a while. When you're out looking for cameras, you can just, if you have a list of stuff you want to see, you can usually find it. So that's one thing I was looking for and found one. So that's kind of cool.
All right. Well, thank you, Wheeler. Wheeler enjoys his cameras.
Yep. Could go into way too much depth, but I'm sure you don't.
Well, there's so much variation with cameras out there, and although there's multiple areas you could specialize in and make good money, There's all these little crazy
Absolutely.
turns and stuff, and part of the fun that we get to have is we get to buy pretty much anything we want,
Exactly.
and that's
So it makes it fun.
that does make it fun. We do have to keep our main thing too.
Yep.
Well, hey, we got to wrap this up.
Yep. Stick the battery back in quick.
This is the end of episode 1. Again, we're going to try to put one of these out every week. We want this to be good for us and good for you in that if you can give us some comments, if you can
Always
ask
improve.
us some questions, if you can tell us some of your stories, we promise we will address those in future shows.
Yep.
And that's more fun for us. That's a little bit how we can learn some things. And we kind of like to give back. And this gives us a chance just to get together and rattle off some things and interact. And we can't do it every day like I did that one time. And we can't make all these fancy videos. We got to keep this short, sweet, and streamlined so we can get all our work done.
Yep.
But I think this is going to work out. So
Yeah, I'm sure we'll keep getting better and improving due to
wow,
input and just get it rolling. So yeah.
I don't care about that.
Okay. Yeah.
We're
Dealers ramble.
gonna just ramble on this side of it. This is the improvement side over here, and this is already gonna just stay the way it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, see you for episode 2.
Yep.
If you haven't subscribed, you like what you see, why not?
Wow. I'm sure a lot of people are regulars here, but
Comment.
tell your friends, tell your neighbors,
Oh,
tell your
yeah,
dog.
Yeah.
Get your dog a YouTube account, subscribe through that.
Hey, if you're not listing your Backstock, get it listed, gear up. Spring is almost here, and there is so much stuff out there. I don't know what's up with this economy, but as far as buying and selling, the good stuff is out there.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope. That's about it.
Okay,
So,
we
going in the
learned.
books.
Let's wrap. See you next week.
Hey, bye.